Ghana Travels. Welcome, viewers, to the second edition of Ghana Travels. I'm sure you enjoyed yourself last week as we spoke with Mr. Charles Osebunsu. This week, we welcome you back into his office for the concluding part of the interview. Stay tuned. Ghana Travels. You've said very nice things. How are we telling the story?
We have been participating in international fairs and exhibitions. We participated in January, the Vacanti Fair in Holland. Same January, we participated in the Fitu Fair in Spain. We participated in March, the ITB Fair in Berlin, which is the biggest fair in the world.
Yeah.
And then we also participated in the Cotton Fair in China. And that resulted in the first time that we had Chinese tour operators and travel writers visiting Ghana to have a first-hand experience about Ghana's tourism resources.
I see.
And we had to take them to the Benshia Palace for them to participate in the Akosidere Festival.
Oh, wonderful.
And 2 say to that Anthony sat in state to receive them. And the display of the rich culture that they saw there of royalty and to them is unparalleled.
You hope that this will translate into arrivals from China?
Definitely. We also had a business forum.
Okay.
And of course, they brought out the expectations of the Chinese tourists. And then we are working on those expectations so that we'll be able to not even meet the expectations, but to even exceed the expectations.
Ghana Travels is brought to you by courtesy of the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, the Ghana Tourism Authority, the Ghana Tourist Development Company Limited, and the Tourism Development Fund.
Wonderful stand here at the WTM, and this is day 3. So far so good. How has it been?
Well, this is my first day here actually. The last 2 days I've been very busy, but I believe the minister came in yesterday. I think it's been good. You can see there's a lot of excitement around the Ghana stand. I'm happy about it. What I want to say to, and I've said to the public, is that it's not all about drumming and dancing and eating.
Absolutely.
We need to make progress as a country. We need to develop the country. We need to excite people, investors, to put their money into the hospitality industry. We want them to come and build hotels, build restaurants, to develop the beach resorts, and so Ghana can make progress. I mean, this is what we should do. I know that we are aware of it, but what are we doing to make it happen, to materialize? That's what is important to me. I feel very passionate about this type of thinking.
Okay. Now, you have a number of Ghanaians who are living abroad in the diaspora, and what is your High Commission is doing, especially in the United Kingdom, to try and encourage Ghanaians to go back and invest into the country? What kind of incentives do you have for them?
Going back to invest, you must invest if you have something to invest. They have skills, but they are worried about jobs, and we are telling them to go into the private sector. to carve a niche and try to, make progress from that angle. A lot of them are, it's a touch and go. They're scared that they might not make it happen, and then they rush back again. But we are encouraging foreign investors, those who have the wherewithal, enough capital to invest, and we're trying to encourage the Ghanaians in the diaspora to partner them to go there and exploit the opportunities that Ghana presents to the world.
Okay. What kind of incentives do you have in place, for instance, for foreign investors to come to Ghana to invest instead of going to, say, Senegal or Gambia to invest? What do you have in place for them that others don't have, for instance, as an incentive?
Well, we have an asset. We are seen as a very democratic country. Our democratic credentials speak volume for Ghana. We've been around all these years. We've changed. We've had elections, and we've had a stable political environment, which goes in our favor. And then we have the rule of law. If you are an investor, you have access to the rule of law being, properly applied to help you. So I'm saying that security for your investment, you are assured of. Then the macroeconomy will be managed to the extent that it will help you, the investor, feel comfortable. The people are friendly, and access to land and other opportunities in the industry are made easily accessible for the would-be investor to take advantage of. So we'll do anything. We are trying every day to improve on it. We are reforming some of the laws to encourage them to come. So we're doing whatever it takes for the investor to feel comfortable in putting his wherewithal in our country.
Okay. The Honorable Minister touched on regional cooperation in terms of transborder tourism and, of course, internal tourism within Ghana. What's your take on that?
Well, I think we're still far from getting it right, especially in our sub-region, West Africa. The road network is still not perfect. We have barriers for that type of South-South cooperation to ensure that it works out. We are still not resolved those issues, and I believe that the ECOWAS would work harder for the region to get it working well before we can think of the whole of Africa as a one body. So we're not out of the woods yet, but we still have a good intention, and I hope that our leaders will continue to work at it so we can remove all the barriers to that type of South-South cooperation that we're looking for.
Okay. Finally, coming back to the WTM at the moment, this is your first day coming here. So far, so good. How impressed are you of the attendance of Ghanaians in the United Kingdom who have come to grace this occasion? Of course, other Ghanaians in other cities came down here to be part of it.
The problem I have, we all know that when it comes to diaspora, people have to go to work.
Yes.
If you don't get to work, you don't get paid. So the majority of Ghanaians are out there somewhere. In this country, there are not less than 500,000 Ghanaians in the UK. It could be more than that. So those who can afford to be here today are here. But if you look at it in relation to the other pavilions or stands, you can tell the Ghanaians and then the lovers of Ghana have shown a lot of patronage, and I'm happy about that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Emancipation, Panafest, Joseph Project, etc. You and I know that they are not as big today as they used to be in the past. For example, North Americans are no more coming here in droves. Is it part of your worries? Then what are you doing about it?
I think it's an issue which needs to be seriously addressed. Emancipation and Panafest started in a big way. And then come the Joseph Project.
Yeah.
Was in tune with the ideals of Panafest and emancipation.
Well,
just that it was a coinage
Well,
of a name.
Okay.
That he wanted the 21st century to be an African century, where you can see the unity between the African, the continent, and then the diaspora, and then energizing their human capacities to be able to develop with the continent and then the diaspora areas, yes. And which, of course, are the very contents and ideals of Panafest and emancipation.
Okay.
But previously, you were embarking on sales blaze in the United States of America and then in the other diasporan countries in the Caribbean. But due to budgetary constraints at a certain point in time, even our participation in FES was even not the best.
Yeah, because I remember you were almost borrowing money to attend first.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now, with the establishment of the fund, the fund has been so supportive in our participation in our fairs and exhibitions. So we have.
You are talking about the tourism fund.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So the next consideration of the destination marketing is the U.S. market and then the diasporan countries market, so that we can re-engineer the Panafest and emancipation, and then be able to draw in the crowd, because the idea was to make Ghana the Mecca of Africa, and then the diasporan community.
Okay.
So we will assiduously embark on that sales place and that promotional campaign.
Ghana Travels is brought to you by courtesy of the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Creative Arts, the Ghana Tourism Authority, the Ghana Tourist Development Company Limited, and the Tourism Development Fund.
There's a group from Visa, that's those who produce the Visa cards, were here. And after going through the special events and the event attractions that we have, they settled on Panafest and emancipation, and have expressed their interest to partner the authority and the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts to promote the event. So they are Chief Executive Officer, CEO of the Africa Visa, within be in Ghana to interact with us, so that you can really settle on an MOU, that's a memorandum of understanding, and then collaborate with us to be able to push that agenda to promote emancipation in Panafest. So there's hope.
Do you want to talk about the Choral Festival?
So the Choral Festival...
The advantage there was that the people were paying their own fare, paying for their own accommodation. So how come? For how many years now?
No, it's just about, I would say about 2 years that you've not organized the Choral Festival. Normally it's biennial, and we are working on that. So that you'll be able to sustain the market and then be able to help build on that market.
We have a lot of hotels now, multi-star hotels, international class hotels. We have a lot of restaurants, mushrooming everywhere. Does quality worry you?
Absolutely, because if you talk about hospitality facilities, then it goes with. The saying goes.
I ask this question because an increasing number of people are complaining that when they go to these places, they don't find the standards that are being touted by GTA and Ghana.
You see, the key issues are the maintenance of quality assurance, and then the provision of quality services. And quality service can best be provided by a professional, a trained and skilled personnel. So we realized that the service delivery aspect was due to the human capacity problems in terms of numbers, getting qualified managers, competent restaurant supervisors, professional waiters, barmen, and so on. That is why I said earlier on that we are rolling out the nationwide training program for all these categories of personnel in the industry, so that they'll be able to improve on their skills and then quality service delivery. We've also been embarking on unannounced spot checks of these establishments. And we've also been carrying out evaluation of facilities and service assessment, as I told you earlier on. We've done that for some of the 4-star rated hotels, some of the 3-star rated hotels, some of the 2-star rated hotels, to bring out the deficiencies in terms of facilities and services for them to improve. If you could remember that at one time, Labadi Beach had to suffer a demotion and degrading from 5-star to 4-star. And of course, if you see the story or you read the story of Labadi Beach Hotel today,
That's right.
at least
A great improvement.
Yes. So to tell you that the GTA, at that time the GTB was up and doing. And of course, I have to say that the team that inspected Labadi and then made that recommendation, I was part of the team because I was then the regional manager for Greater Accra, and with my colleague, Ms. Adeline Boating, who is the former head of quality assurance and now the head of the human resource training, that we led the inspection and made that recommendation and took that decision with the support of
to downgrade Labadi.
Yes, with the leadership at that time.
That was a bold decision, and
Yes.
I think I remember very well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in actual fact, we don't really compromise on standards. It's just that
But
we
of
have.
course, you remember Labadi recently won the best 5-star hotel,
They have won our awards for 3 consecutive times.
and all this is as a result of the fact that your eyes were on the ball, and therefore.
Yes. The challenge is now that we need many quality assurance officers because of the growth
Okay.
in numbers of these facilities. Yes. And then we also need to train our inspectors to keep in tune with the modern trends, so that they will be able to offer technical advice to the operators, which we are working on seriously.
To some tourism news. Following a series of tragic incidents from the German Wings disaster in March to the loss of Malaysian Airlines MH370 last year, as well as the shooting down of the flight MH17 over Ukraine, there is understandably a lot of fear surrounding air travel. An experienced pilot, Captain David Thomas, says flying on modern commercial jet aircraft is now incredibly safe and has been getting safer over the years. The industry statistics show that the number of accidents per million flights has reduced by a factor of just under 4 since 2009 alone. Everything we do is motivated and governed by safety, which is always the first consideration. On your screen is a picture of how many aircraft are in the skies at a given point in time. If they do not clash, it is because of regulation. Each is being guided from below by air traffic controllers and navigation engineers. Often, governments have been blamed for protecting their national carriers and refusing to deregulate the industry and open up the skies to greater competition. While South Africa has a number of liberalization agreements, its government agrees that more needs to be done. There is a number of constraints in different countries with regards to policies, regulatory environment, but in terms of the decisions themselves, we have taken the right ones, says Malusi Gigaba, South Africa's Minister for Public Enterprise.
Ghana Travels is brought to you by courtesy of the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Creative Arts, the Ghana Tourism Authority, the Ghana Tourist Development Company Limited, and the Tourism Development Fund. The international tourism arrivals and receipts. I know, for example, that your figures are different from those of Immigration Service, and the Immigration Service figures are different from the Bank of Ghana service, talking about the same thing. I mean, the arrivals and the receipts. Why so, and what are you doing about it, if you are doing anything at all?
For 3 years, as if I remember, from 2005 to 2007, we were receiving the embarkation and disembarkation cards from the Ghana Immigration Service for us to compute our tourist arrivals and figures. But after that period, we really faced a challenge of getting access to those embarkation and disembarkation cards. So we had to do projections based on the previous figures, and then with also the help of the consultant from the United Nations World Tourism Organization, we were able to do realistic projections. And one thing that we also realized is that relying on the Ghana immigration records, SASCA records, was also a problem, because they have their own definition of who a tourist is.
I see.
So if they give the figures of tourist arrivals, you realize that they were on the lower side.
I see.
Because in tourism, if you travel for sports, travel for educational purpose, you travel for business, you travel for leisure, you are a tourist.
Yeah.
Insofar as you don't, the purpose of the travel is not to go to the destination and work for remuneration.
Exactly. Yes.
Understand? So what we've done now is to set up a multi-sectorial committee. We have the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, we have the Ghana Tourism Authority, we have the Ghana Immigration Service, we have the Ghana SASCA Service, we have the Bank of Ghana.
Okay.
And they are working on 2 projects. Establishment of the data center at the GTA head office, so that they will give the embarkation and disembarkation cards to GTA to process. They are,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes, and then return them.
Okay.
So, which means certain features have to be put in place because of security. And very soon, the data center will be commissioned. I can tell you that in a month's time, the data center will be commissioned. Work far advanced, the establishment of the data center. And the technical committee and the main committee are also working on the tourism satellite account. Because if you look at tourism, for example, because it's all encompassing,
Yeah.
tourism has a role in construction, transport, agriculture. Because if people are putting up hotels, then you see construction. When you complete hotels and you are operating agri-produce, and
Sure.
so they are working on the tourism satellite account so that you'll be able to quantify the contribution of tourism to the other sectors of the economy. I would like to take this opportunity to assure all Ghanaians and all well-wishers of Ghana that Ghana's tourism industry is resilient. It's an industry of the present and the future. It's an industry which is the beacon of hope for revamping Ghana's economy. And looking at the projections and the legacy projects that we've embarked upon, which most of them have enumerated here, whose implementation is also on course.
Viewers, as I said, this is one of the great encyclopedias of Ghana tourism. I'm not surprised that without looking on paper, you have fielded the questions the way you have done. with people like you, why? The way forward is always bright. And we have taken your assurances. Viewers, Ghana tourism is growing and it can only grow. We thank Mr. Osebosu for enlightening us. I believe that all of us feel enlightened by this with this encounter. Thank you very much. Goodbye.